views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJS, its board, staff, or underwriters.
Good day, and welcome to Ability Radio. I am one of your hosts, Amelia LaMont of the Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands. And today I have a phenomenal guest, somebody who our organization has worked with over a number of years. Yes. When he was the supervisor of elections, John Abramson. Good day, Mr. Abramson.
Good day. Glad to see you. Glad to be here. It feels like fun.
It is. Civics is fun. Elections is fun. And frankly, this is the year, 2024, where there'll be a lot of conversation.
There's a big one.
Yeah. It's a whopper.
National and local.
Well, yeah. And so as a supervisor of elections.
Former.
That's correct. Why are you so enthusiastic about that topic?
Well, elections it's what you said, civics. People don't understand. When you go to elections, you become a juror. You can be part of a jury pool. You're an attorney. You need jurors to make decisions, to do things in the community. It talks about being a volunteer, Rotarian, Lions Club, fraternity, sorority, all those tentacles that do things in the community that people don't get paid for. It's your civic duty. And I really get turned on for that because, at least in my household, as I grew up, my mother was Miss Civics herself. She was in everything. BPW, Rotary. She was in everything possible. So I guess I caught that bug, and I'm still turned on by it.
Well, that's a good thing. One of the things I wanted to make clear to the audience is, what do we mean by civics? Okay, what is it?
Civics is learning about, as I said, volunteerism, your duty to the community. That would be my big answer. But if you drill down, it goes into picking up garbage on the beach. If you go to the beach, you see some garbage, pick it up. Right. It's little things that you can do as an individual person to improve your community overall.
Right.
I don't know how else to define that.
Right.
I think that's the easier thing I could say. And I urge people to do as much as you can, because if you complain and you don't do anything, I don't care how small, it's a waste. You're just complaining.
Right.
So if you can do some small thing, go to a beach every other month, every last Sunday, and pick up some garbage. That's civics.
Right.
But the better civic is to vote, to go to participate in the voting process, to get on pools, to get on boards. Boards are a big part of
civics, absolutely.
Of civics.
Right.
And you could pick one. Here, I'm just on board. Nails, whatever.
Okay,
but be on any board at all.
Right.
Just volunteer to do something to improve your standing and the community at large.
Well said. My understanding was that the whole concept or the subject of civics is no longer readily available in the school systems. But you told me before this show that civics is now part of the Virgin Islands curriculum. Is that correct?
Correct. Locally, we took out civics completely and went to social studies. But now a lot of people is incorporating civics as a topic in social for itself, because the importance, we've lost so future farmers of America. I mean, so many different little 4-H, little clubs that you have in schools that teach you how to be a civic-minded person. If you learn it in school, it becomes second nature to you. It's like, okay, joining a club like a Rotarian. I'm a Rotarian. Got meeting tonight, and service above self.
Right.
That's the motto.
Right.
So you do something to improve where you live. And I can't stress that enough. I know the roads in St. Croix horrendous. I know there's nothing we could do about that. But I do things about that. I go and buy a marker, spray paint, and spray around the holes. And let people know it's a hole there.
That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's civics.
Sure. It is civics.
It's personal because I want the thing fixed, but it's the idea you're doing something to let the community know. Don't drop in this one too,
Right.
like me.
Right.
Because, it'll knock your tire off, mess up your rim.
Right.
It's a civics-minded act.
When you said that, I remember somebody had painted a sign, which was not very flattering to the government, saying that this pothole is brought to you by the government of the Virgin, or something along those lines. And it was fixed.
I went east, and they put a plant in the pothole. Took a picture.
Okay.
And I said to myself, the person said, this is how long this pothole has been here. It had a tree in it. And the next time I passed, it was fixed.
Interesting.
So it's a concept,
Right.
concept to get involved. That's the least I could say. Just get involved in doing things that will improve your life, your family's life, your community's life.
So it doesn't have to be anything big.
No, it could be anything at all, anything.
Huh. Okay.
No matter no matter what. About ramps. If you go someplace and you see somebody struggling with a wheelchair,
Right.
you could go in and say, hey, mister, you need to do something to address this.
Right.
I had to help this person lift up the wheelchair to gain. So
Right.
it's small things. I think that's something you could really relate to.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So small things, and those are civic-minded acts. The act of doing something that improves the community's life, its contribution to all. And corporations can be civic-minded too. So although we're talking individual, we could do civics for corporations as well.
Okay. Now, you have a very extensive background. I mean, I went bonkers just reading how many things you belong to. But one of the things of several that jumped out at me and was your service on the Board of Education.
Yes, I served on the board in the 10th Board of Election in 1986.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's how you know about civics being part of the curriculum now?
Correct. Yes.
Gotcha.
I follow them.
Okay.
I follow Board of Election, Board of Elections, Board of Education, boards in general. Again, boards is a civic-minded act.
Okay.
Some people say, oh, they don't pay me. You don't get paid. You get a stipend, maybe $75 to just attend meetings, do all that. But it's no big thing, but it does wonders because you know things and you can assist people throughout the community.
Right. That's awesome. Also, you were are a member, currently a member of the Government of Virgin Islands Wellness Board. Now, what is that?
The Health Insurance Board, yes.
Oh, okay.
And health insurance, we do all the wellness programs for the government, and we negotiate the contract for all government and retirees throughout the territory. We have both Cigna and United Healthcare. United gives for the retirees and Cigna for the active employees, and we do a lot of stuff. They do a myriad of stuff. Let's see, they do giveaway of produce every month. Or every quarter, either month or quarter. They give turkey, chicken, vegetables, all kind of stuff. We have program, and both carriers do both things. So active get some, and retirees get some. So we have a number of programs. We have a wellness fair. We have a GVI battle of the agency fair where all the government agencies battle each other for bragging rights, but they're all related to health.
Okay.
And it's been really good being on the board. It keeps you grounded because when you're sick or you're not well,
Right.
you don't worry about your bills. I had a stroke in 2020, and You don't worry about bills and you don't worry about money. The only thing you worry about is what? Getting
Better.
better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So all that stuff that consumes you all the time, wellness is supposed to be, don't worry, be happy. You're going to get through that. As long as you're well, you could figure out all the problems can be figured out. As long as you do that, you're okay.
Gotcha. Now let's talk about the juicy stuff. This is the stuff that you're really good at. And that is the election process, or the electoral. I shudder to say politics, but I want to get your take on how 2024 is looking.
Electoral process.
Yes.
2024 is going to be a really big year. We have national politics and we have local. Locally, we don't have all the offices. We just have Senate and boards. And nationally, we have president and the Senate and states.
Right.
Locally, I think we'll have a humdinger of an election.
Because?
A lot of young people is getting involved in the process now.
That's great to hear.
If you looked at the last election, there are a lot of young people. I think the dynamic is changing overall. I think some of the older heads is saying, okay, it's time to go home because they're seeing the handwriting on the wall.
Okay.
And a lot of younger people are starting to fill those voids. And if you look at our younger senators like Carrie Young and Mr. James, Senator James, the younger people are getting more involved, especially in St. Croix. And I think St. Thomas is due for an overhaul on that level. I think participation on that level has been good and really increasing. If you look at election numbers in the system, we have an increase of younger voters. Older voters are still there.
Right.
Old people always vote.
Right.
Women always vote.
Right.
But especially like nationally, younger people are really getting involved. And we need that. We need a change. We need to change the paradigm that, I don't want to say this, but I'll say it anyway. The way old people think and the way young people think is different. It's done.
Right. Right.
And the more we get them involved, to come to a happy medium where ideas come to mesh together and make things work for both groups. Especially women, especially on the national scene, has been very involved in election. If you looked at election last Saturday, Biden won by 90% vote in South Carolina.
Right.
60% were women.
Interesting. Okay. In your opinion, are young people as involved in the voting process as it could be?
I always think we could do better. We always can do better. But I think they have been getting more involved because this thing about I have to get something for voting is dying out. It's dying with us older people, the baby boomers. It's dying with us. I think most people now, they don't care about race. They don't care about creed. They don't care about sexual orientation. Most young people now really want people that will do the job.
Right.
So if you look at elections nationally and locally, we're kind of turning a corner where we're changing our ideas, how we look at people, and who we think is a valued person to represent us. Because I say without fear, 25 years ago, sexual orientation would say, no, he can't win.
Right.
She can't win. No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
But now, We're turning
Right.
that corner.
Right.
And you can see it
Right.
throughout the country and locally.
Right. Right. That's a good point. I mean, one comment that was made to me maybe a couple of years ago was that young people would get the voter registration card,
The ID.
the ID, not for voting purposes, but to show that they are 18 and old enough to imbibe.
I think that's been changing. The education has been good.
Okay.
The system, I give them a big up for the system, the management, the board, and my illustrious staff. I used to say my ladies, but now we have ladies and men. They do a great job.
They're phenomenal.
They do a great job training now. They have a lot of aides. They get into schools. So I, as a former supervisor, I only can say good things about them because they have been doing their job with the limited resources they get. They do an excellent job.
Yeah, agreed.
So they get out there, and I think a lot of people are, because a lot of people ask for registration drives and things like that now. So it's coming. It's people are getting, I guess, getting fed up with things like high prices for food, gas,
Right.
all the economic things that really slow you down for things you want to do. And I think they're making a change. I really feel that we're turning a corner. It's going slowly, but it's happening.
Okay, that's encouraging because, obviously there's another concern about people who may feel that they don't have an opportunity for a living wage here or, a career here and then leave the Virgin Islands.
Brain drain.
Yeah, exactly.
The brain drain.
Exactly.
And we are still suffering that. But I think the more we get people involved, 'cause if you look at this governor, he's a young man.
Yeah.
And you have a young staff.
Yeah.
All the people in big positions in the government, if you look at them on average, they're younger people. I mean, when I say young, 50-ish, 40-ish, 30-ish.
Right. Sure.
And I think that's encouraging for younger people to see, and those younger people hire younger people. Because if you go into an office in government right now, I think the average age is 26.
Wow. Really? Okay.
A lot of people have left government.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm enthused with that. I hope we can keep the salaries up so we can keep our local people here. The Senate has done a great job to incentivize some people through having UVI have free tuition. So, like I said, we're turning that corner because we're doing the things that we need to do to keep our workforce here and getting in areas that we need to. For example, solar energy. We're doing something for solar now. So I'm enthused. I ain't gonna say they're doing the best, but I ain't saying they're doing the worst.
At least they're doing the do. Civics involves volunteering.
Yes.
And when I was working at the Disability Rights Center of the Virgin Islands, one of the difficult things for us was to recruit volunteers. That was really tough. How do you see as ways that we can try and, change that mindset? Because
we used to use people from schools because they have to have this requirement of community service. They have to have so many hours of community service to graduate from school. So we used to get a core group and let them pick the rest people to be in the core group. And we used to try and make it fun.
Okay.
Because, you can't be like policing kids, teenagers, when you're trying to get them to work for you.
Right.
So we used to let them tell us, well, we need this done. This is the goal. How do we get there? Some people would say, we let them go far, but I would let them go far. My thing was, is the job done?
Right.
That's the only goal, is to get the job done. How you get there is irrelevant, at least to me. Some administrators couldn't live with that, but I always would say make it fun so they can, while they're doing work, getting the credits, doing the job. Now, sometimes you need older people, you need incentive. Older people, you need incentive. The people that you could give instruction to, leave them alone. The older people, you need to do incentives also. So I'll pick you up. I'll buy you lunch. Those kind of small incentive. You ain't paying nobody. You ain't giving no stipend. So you do incentive that would say, oh, well, I could do 3 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours.
That makes sense.
And you try and spread it up among a large array of people so things happen.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay. With regard to the 2024 elections, can you look into your crystal ball? What's your sense as to the direction?
I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I'm deadly concerned.
Okay.
Our former President Trump has had, 91 indictments of different types.
Right.
Why are we even talking about his name in connection with elections? And this is looming over him. As you know, Colorado went and said, boom, you're off the ballot. It's going to the Supreme Court. Like I said, you're a lawyer. You know much more about that than me. But I believe that other states, and 2 states has also took him off the ballot. I think other states will look at that, and I think that's going to be a snowball. No, I'm praying that will be the snowball that the states can use to keep him off the ballot. If that doesn't happen, we might look at Trump as president again. Because if you use numbers, and elections is a numbers game, the president's approval rating is 39%. It's been that way for over 2 years. That's not good. That's not good going into election to win. Although Biden has done a lot of work. Economy is down, inflation is down, interest rate is teetering to go down.
Right.
So they doing a lot of work, but this war in Israel has really had him on the ropes.
Right.
And he's going to continue until they change course. I use it Albert for change course on this matter, because Americans are getting fed up with this Israeli-Hamas war. And it could affect the entire general election in November. I pray God not, but it may.
Yeah.
And we should be very concerned. So my crystal ball say, anything you can do civic-wise to influence people, to tell people we don't vote for president locally, but we do have representatives from the territory, Democrats and Republicans. By the way, Thursday, the Republicans will have the first primary election run by the Republicans at Chicken Shack from 6 to 7.
Seriously? Okay. That will be the place where they have their primary at the Chicken Shack? Is it a caucus of some sort?
No, it's a primary. It's a vote. You know, the judge, Malloy, said the primaries is unconstitutional in the VI.
Okay.
I'm sure you read that.
Okay.
You
No,
did.
I missed that.
Okay. You need to look up on that one.
Okay, I will.
There's a number of things that we were doing, and I've been talking about us not doing primaries for 25 years, for a long time.
Okay.
So he said these things, you can't tell how long the office can be, you can't tell them how they have to be selected, you can't do this. So I'm going to be to the primary on Thursday for the Republicans just to see what happens.
Literally at the chicken shack.
Literally at the chicken shack. At least I know St. Croix is.
Right.
I know where St. Croix is.
Well, that's fascinating. In the 3 minutes we have remaining, maybe a little less now, what do you see with regard to the direction, political direction of the Virgin Islands?
I think we're in for big things. I am waiting because I believe in the next election it will be a woman as a governor. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think I have always said women are much more compassionate, motherly, and they do more when it comes to social services and things like keep a home. And I consider St. Croix Virgin Islands our home to make it work. If you can't drive to the super, if you have to drive potholes to go to the supermarket, they ain't going. So they would be more enthused and in line with what needs to be done. I see women, and I don't want to be sexist here, but I really think I look at my own mother and say they used to do phenomenal things with little or nothing.
Right.
I'm sure you could say the same thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I think, as I predict, I would like to predict, this election we'll see a woman running for governor, and I think they might win. Because I think with our progression, and you asked me that question, is staring that in the face. We have to move to that level now. Because we have all the first. We had the first Senate president in the United States.
Right.
So we've always been pushing to be progressive, and I think that's where we're heading now.
Wow. I want to thank you for that. I mean, you're such a font of information and wisdom. John Abramson, it's always a pleasure. Hopefully you'll be able to come back when we get closer to the election.
Anytime.
Party, for lack of a better word. Folks, thank you so much for listening to Ability Radio. Take care and have a great day.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of WTJX, its board, staff, or underwriters.